Okay, in this last video, I will show how I would do the rigging and the muscle setup of everything. And let's just do a biceps. I have just right here a couple of joints with a really simple animation. And what I will do is to rig this guy here in Maya. So we have a really nice starting point. So maybe just put it right there and another one that go just something like that, I guess. Oh, okay, great. So now we can have this guy and this guy. And we will do a parent constraint without rotation because this guy will have the rotation from this joint. So let's do an orient constraint. Now we can do this guy and this guy with a parent constraint, and then we can do both these guys with this guy with a parent constraint, double constraint. So now we have this behavior for a muscle. Great. Let's grab this free and just skin. Great. Now we have a skin muscle. And then let's just grab this guy with the geometry that comes with the free asset Mr. Ring. So I guess it comes from Zebra's measure, but okay. So now we have with the Brave Rabbit Smooth tool, we have a nice and smooth biceps, and let's do some sculpting. So we will create a blend shape there, and we will sculpt a little bit this guy just to get an idea of what is happening when I just raise my forearm and the biceps is working. Let's say we have something like that. Okay, maybe that's too much, but pretty good. Okay, so now we have this change of volume, which is really nice. And you can just do like a curve then and just measure the curve and do a lot of stuff to rig in Maya, but I will do something I really don't like, but it's the fastest way right now just to show it. So let's do a set ribbon key. Great. Just grab this as ribbon, and this is rotation Z and key, and let's go just here, and this will be like that key, and we already have our set ribbon key working. And every time I just rotate this guy, the plane shape is plotting. Great. So let's do just one more thing in the shape of this guy. Select the shape. I will create an attribute called excitation. All right. And then I will add it. So we have here in our shape the excitation. Great. Then we will connect directly to the excitation the weight of the plane shape that we already have. So it's really easy. Just wait. And we have now our excitation working. So when it's excited is 1, when it's not excited is 0. Great. So we can just grab the geometry and create a blend cache, but be careful, you have to add the attributes that you want. Excitation is the attribute, so I can do that, and I have already done it, and I have it here in Houdini. So we have guys, it's not the same sculpt, obviously, but it's more or less the same. You can understand the principle here. I just found the problem with the excitation attribute that when it's 0, it breaks somewhere. So I just added like 0.001, so it's never 0. And now we have this excitation working right there. Why it's not working, but yeah, you can see right here the color of the excitation 0 and 1 when it's excited and it's when it's not. Great. So what I did here is a couple of setups. This first one was just to test what I liked. So this setup has these values, which are not the same as these values. As you can see, the stiffness and the damping ratio is changing. Same thing with the attach. The thing that I did, and that's why I want to do it like that, I'm attaching the muscle to itself. So I'm attaching the muscle to this animation, not the bones, but this animation. So it will be always in the nice place. And also we can do something like that when you are simulating this guy. This is the kind of stiffness that I want, this kind of jiggle I wanted in the, let's do a little bit more simulation there, when it's not excited, when it's relaxed, because it's a nice jiggle, you can see, great. And I changed the parameters here just to get the one that gets excited. This one has a higher value in the stretch stiffness of the attachment. So the attachment is much stronger, and it also has the higher dampen ratio and a lower stiffness, so it follows better the shape that we have just did. So you can see that the stiffness is lower, but the jiggle is faster, which is what should happen with the muscle excited. Obviously we can change that and we can just get to the sweet spot, but I did just quickly this one. So what we can do is we can just do a plane shape between those two, and in the plane shape we can use the detail, this object, which is this object right here, and the excitation detail, which is the attribute of the excitation. So now we have the blend between the two. When it's stressed, it's this one, and when it's not excited, it's relaxed, it's this one. Really easy. So you can see both of them work, and we can just point to form them, and this is already the nice geometry doing what it should do. Just an example, obviously it's not perfect, but you can understand the technique right here. And even more, you can do the same thing with another blend shape, because you need to time shift this guy to not have double deformation, but we can do like another blend shape. Easy blend shape with those two, right? Because they are the same. So this guy was without simulation, and this guy will be with simulation. So maybe it's too much. I will just do like 50% of simulation, maybe 70% of simulation. But I'm getting there. No, a little less. Let's just do a little less. So that's why it's really nice to have a lot of jiggle, because you can always get to the initial point that we have rigged in Maya. Obviously doing the Maya rig for all the muscles will be time consuming, but it's really worth it because you will have the perfect silhouettes and the perfect volumes that you want. So this other setup is more or less the same, but what I did is to grab this attribute and just remap it to match the attributes that I have here. So when this is, for example, the stiffness of the tetrahedral of this guy here, when you create this guy, it always does a group called stretch, and the attachment doesn't do by default the output group, but you can output it. So you can just grab it here, and here I have the stretch group, which is the tetrahedral, and here I have the attach group, which is the attach. The stiffness of the attach is driven by this attribute stiffness and attribute no attachment stiffness and the stiffness and the damping ratio of the tetrahedral. They are driven by these attributes just right there. So I just do some remaps to get the numbers that I wanted to get this guy. So this is that stiffness. As you can see, it starts at 1000 and it gets to 1. You can see right here that this guy is 1 and this guy is 1000. Same thing with the damping, which is 10, and when it's not excited it's 1, when it's excited it's 10. Same thing here. This guy should be 0.001 and this guy, this guy should be 0.01 and this guy is 10 times more, 10 times less in that case. And same thing here where we have the attribute, the attachment stiffness, exactly the same. It's 1, it's 10. As you can see right here, the attachment stiffness right here is 1 and right here is 0.1. So if I look at here, you can see that this guy in the attachment is 0.1, so 0.1 and 10 because it's 1 in the other line. But I did one more thing, because if I don't do that, you can see right here when I do the simulation without the time shift, this is the node where all this is coming from. You know, we're getting to that node to get all the remaps and all the attributes as we need. So let's try and do a simulation of that and you will see what happens. The problem with that is that it takes a little bit of time to get between one state or the other. You can see right there how it's working between two different numbers. And because it's a simulation, it needs a little bit of time to get to there. So what I did is time shift right here, and I just offset this guy a couple of frames. So you can see this guy is around here and this guy is, I don't know why you cannot see anything, but yeah, just set it. Well, yeah, this is frame 41 and this should be frame, let's see, just right there. Yeah, you can see it right there. It's offset a couple of frames, so it will happen a little bit earlier and faster, but we still have this couple of frames of transition between them. So you can do whatever you want, but this one takes a little bit more time to get to the different states. This one takes more time of simulation because you have to do 2 simulations for each muscle. Well, for each group of muscles, you can do, as we did, some simulation muscles, just the arms or whatever it is. But it's really, really, really fast. So it really doesn't matter. And you have like full control of everything just right here. You have like this nice jiggling in one place or the other. And even better, we can just control it with a slider, so we can say how much simulation we want. We can do the same thing with this one, obviously. Just grabbing this guy here. Oh, trying to grab this guy here and this guy here. And again, this has no simulation at all. This has the simulation already in place. So maybe we can just split the difference to, oh, not like that. Just like that. And then we have a nice system. And this is really important because obviously you can go to micromanaging every muscle on the body, every muscle on your simulation. Once it's simulated, you can see how it's working, and maybe you can just add some keys here. I don't know, maybe it's better to do something like that with the auto key. We can grab something like that. We really love to have a lot more of that jiggle when it goes down, the fast jiggle when it's excited, and then maybe we can just dial it down for this jiggle, which is really too much. Go that way. So something like that. And you can play as you want that, and you can have full control of the silhouette of your muscle, the kind of jiggling that you're doing, and how much of the simulation, how much of the animation you're just using. So that's pretty much it. I hope you like it, and let's see you in another one.